Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
Hey, Harjit, man, how's it going?
Hey, Prayer. Oh my God. What the
What?
heck are we doing?
Well,
Hey, so it's Oculus time.
all
We're
right.
both at Oculus. You
I'm,
you know what's freaky? I
what?
can actually see my hands and I can see you
Yep,
in black and white
yep.
through the screens, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's very low res, like very grainy and no color, like you said. But I can make out your face a bit, no features on your face, uh,
Right.
and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about our experience with Oculus today.
Yeah.
So take
So
this.
we're gonna talk about this thing, this big thing that, you know, there we go. It's the Oculus Quest.
Yep. And I
And
have the Oculus Quest 2.
and I've got an Oculus Quest One. I got it a few months ago, probably I don't know, maybe August, September, something like that.
Hmm.
And I think when I got mine, it was just a month later that they started releasing the two,
Oh, dang.
and then I had missed my 30-day mark or something to return it and get the new one. But it's fine for what I use it for. I've got the 128 gig uh, capacity, the model, and I think you got the
Two, I
256.
Yep, I got the bigger one, 256 gig. So if people don't know what we're talking about, that's fine. We'll describe it really quick. So the Oculus Quest is a virtual reality headset. It's completely self-contained.
Hmm.
So the CPU, the video card or video driver is all built in. The audio is also built in. You do need the mobile app initially just to kind of hook up your account and stuff like that. And unfortunately, you do need a Facebook account now, which is I
Yes.
think is really silly.
Well, when
Um,
I got mine, it was at the cusp of them turning your regular accounts into Facebook accounts. So, yeah, it was kind of like a little strange at that point. Like, wait, I created my own account, but now you want me to use my Facebook account? And
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's completely self-contained, so you don't have to connect it to a computer or tether it somehow to your phone to like stream the games or anything like that. There is a link cable you can get to do some other things. I don't
Hmm.
have it, so I can't speak to that. But all the games, that's why there's storage capacity on this so that you can load games and they can stay there. My friends told me, get the bigger one. It's $100 more, but it just makes it less of a hassle to manage games that are on it.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, and it felt really bizarre getting it because I don't get stuff like this. Like this was a splurge. And honestly, initially I had no intention of getting any kind of VR thing because I'm not a gaming person.
Me
Uh
neither.
not at all. But and
No.
then you got it because you wanted to be more active and help
Yes.
manage your health and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then we were talking at some point, you were saying like how you were playing ping pong against other people on the internet. I'm like, what? And so you described it further. Go ahead.
Multiplayer. Right.
Yeah. Like, people you didn't know and you're just playing ping pong and talking. And I was like, wait a second, like you can do multiplayer with this stuff? So then I was like, okay, this would be kind of cool because I miss you and I miss my other friends and stuff like that.
Yes.
This might be kind of neat to mess around that way, just because I'm sick of meetings, video conferencing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got it. I ordered it on Christmas Day. It took about a month for it to come in because they
Yeah.
are having some delays in manufacturing and shipping. And set it up, and it's pretty cool. You have to go through this training regimen. And another thing that's really neat is you have to, and I'm not familiar with other VR platforms, so I don't know if this is normal or not, but you have to set a boundary up so that if you're approaching it, it gives you a warning like, hey, you're about to go across this boundary, and
Right.
there might be something beyond that, which is why you created the boundary.
I think it calls it the Guardian or something like that. The
The
Guardian.
Guardian, right? And the games, it's important to create a guardian space. You have to do it every time you turn it on because the game will actually tell you, hey, your guardian space isn't big enough. It's not wise to play this game. And so yeah, let's not give specific game names and stuff like that. We'll just talk generally. But we a day or two after I got it, I said, "Hey, you want to try out this ping pong thing?" And so I
Yeah.
loaded it up, and I messaged you on the thing. And it was funny because I was like, "I hear somebody," and then you're like, "Are you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're there too." And we were like, we didn't know how. Honestly, I don't have no idea how, but we were somehow.
But your avatar was a cat. You look like a cat.
Well, this is even before we got into the game. Remember, we were like talking. I'm like, how is this? Why is this happening right now? So I have no clue what happened there. But somehow there's this party feature, and somehow we invited each other to that. And so we're talking. Are like, okay, let's go into the game and figure it out. There goes the dryer. And we were in the game, and we just played casual ping pong for an hour, and I'm blown away at
the technology.
Like again, this is like I'm completely new to VR and all that stuff like that. And each Oculus comes with a set of controllers that you hold like that. So there's one specifically for the right hand, one specifically for the left hand, and in the intro stuff, you are guided through how to use it, what the buttons do, and stuff like that. So in the game, you can actually rotate the paddle. So some people like to hold the paddle like in a different way. I don't know what it's called, and so I actually turned the controller upside down, and I was able to kind of play like how you would play a ping pong when you hold the paddle like that versus like a regular tennis racket and stuff like that. I was like, oh, can you put spin on this? And
you can grab things. You can grab the ball and stuff.
Yep. We were able to put spin on the ball. There were some like features within the room we were in, and we were like throwing it at the window, and it would go out the window. We don't know where it went. There was some music playing, but the audio is incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Very.
You and I were playing. Like we were talking like this, like you were right in front of me. Yep. It's so freaky, but yet again, we're I don't know how many, maybe a couple of thousand miles from each other.
Yes.
It's unreal. Like we just put it on, we're in a game, and we're talking like casually, like we're standing in front of each other in front of a real ping pong table.
Yep.
And it feels real. It plays real. Like you said about the bat or the ping pong bat, is that what they call it?
Yep.
Paddle. Has that feel, paddle, and you have the spins, and it's amazing. We're just talking about one game.
Exactly. And I highly doubt like I'll become a ping pong champion in real life practicing with this game, but it's like I can imagine like during lunch or something, or if I need a break during the day, I could text you like, "Hey man, you want to play ping pong?"
Yeah.
And just like if we wanted to brainstorm ideas or just talk about whatever, we could be playing ping pong, and that's what it was like. We were just talking about like life stuff.
Talking about all sorts of things.
For an hour, we were just talking about like random things, and the whole time I'm like, I can't believe how amazing.
And we're moving. I mean, we're moving at the same point in time, right? We weren't just like standing around and just talking. We're playing, we're hitting, and we're like, okay, it's my serve, your serve. Okay, so by the way, blah 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 blah, and so that was, and I think by the end of it, you and I got a real wicked workout out of it.
And also one thing I have to mention is that like when Harjit was moving his hands around, I could see the avatar doing the same thing. And so I was like, when he was like, and when, this happens, it just drives me crazy or whatever. Like I could see him shaking his hands, and I'm like, that's really, really, that's amazing. However, these developers put this together. But we played for an hour and the next day I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, what happened to my back? I was having a rough time getting out of bed. It was so painful. And the whole day I was like in a huge amount of pain. I'm like, what did I do yesterday? And it never came across my mind until like much later. I'm like, wait a second. I was playing virtual ping pong, but it was virtual ping pong. Like, what happened here? And so many times a week. I do a lot of body weight workouts in the morning, about half an hour. So, but in none of my workouts do I do this motion like that. And while we were playing ping pong for an hour, this is all it was, like
Yeah.
literally almost nonstop.
Or
And I'm
you're kind
wearing
of like diving for the ball a little bit, like
exactly, yeah. We were moving around. I didn't break a sweat or anything, so I didn't think it
No.
was an intense workout. And I was
Yeah.
also wearing sandals because I'm thinking this is virtual ping
That's
pong,
not
right?
good.
Big deal.
Yeah.
And it was like I could not sit up. Like it was painful getting out of the chair, sitting down. Everything was horrible.
Mhm.
And my blood pressure was super high that day because I was so uncomfortable. And this next day, the same thing. So on Monday, I called my chiropractor and I said, "Is there any way you could fit me in for an appointment?" The receptionist said yes. So when I came in, she's like, "So what happened?" Like she said, you're clearly uncomfortable." And I told her, she's like, "I have never heard of anything like this before." I'm like, be prepared, be prepared, like because this is a thing. Um, and so when she did the adjustment, she couldn't even do all the adjustments because I was in so much pain. She's like, "I'm not gonna make you more
Oh
miserable."
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy.
you know, ice
So
is nice. So I was icing it several times a day. On Wednesday, she was able to do a more fuller adjustment. And today is the first day where it was like, oh, okay, I feel something, but it's not as bad as like I was like Harjit, I was in
but
so much pain. It was
so
crazy.
so but lesson learned though, right? There were a couple of things you did wrong, right?
Oh yeah.
So one is you played in your flip flops, not good. Two, you were on hard concrete,
Yep.
and then again, there was like your first time playing, so you're not, you weren't broken in yet. So, and then you talked about, you had mentioned to me about when you do exercise or you do your 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 workouts or whatever, you're not doing the the side motions, which actually does twist your back and all that stuff, right?
Exactly.
So, uh,
So
yeah,
whether I realized it or not, my lower back got a repetitive motion workout, and my chiropractor gave me some exercises to do. She's like, if this is going to be a regular thing, you need to adopt this into your routine. I'm
right.
like, I'm completely down
So
with that.
what's
Yeah.
funny? I got sold into this by our friend Mick Pletcher. Right? He's like, we talked about him before too, and he's a diehard Oculus guy and whatever. And I think he bought one for his wife as well because they liked it so much.
Cool.
And but he, like I said before, he would travel with it. I mean, he would go to conferences with it, and he would show up at expo halls and whatever with this little with a big case and all that stuff. And he would tell me, he said, seriously, man, there is nothing like it. I mean, it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. And
That's how I felt too. Yeah.
right, I was like, whatever. And then I'm followed very closely by my doctor, for my every 6 months or so, and one of the things, based on my results and stuff, and she'll start asking me, so how active are you? I'm like, I know. I said, listen, it's winter, it's really hot, and it's like you don't feel like going out, and it's not, it's not feasible to do like outdoor exercises, walking and stuff like that. She's
Sure.
okay. So one day she said, have you thought about one of those virtual games? I'm like, no, I haven't, but I should look into it. And then again, Mick, pushed me a bit more into it, and I said, okay, whatever, I'll get it. So I got mine from Amazon, and I paid maybe like $30 more than if I would have bought directly.
Mhm.
But the reason being was that if I didn't like it or whatsoever, I was able to return it right through Prime. But I ended up like the moment I started using it, I was like, this is phenomenal. I can't believe I was a disbeliever,
Sure.
So and you discovered that, and I try to convince you about it too, and we have some friends that we chat and Slack who use these devices as well.
Yes.
So
So some specific apps. Now I will call out two specific apps that I want to try out. Well, three actually. The ever popular Beat Saber.
oh my god, that's
right,
fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
and the other one is all of our mutual friends want to play Star Trek Bridge Crew, which I'm looking super forward to because like apparently you're
Okay. Oh, that's okay. Yep.
apparently you're doing you're working together to do missions on a Starfleet vessel, which is incredible. Um, and then lastly, and this is kind of like, I don't know if I'll actually pay the money for this, but it's an app called Virtual Desktop, which is supposed to kind of like take your computer interface on your PC or laptop or whatever and put it
Right.
onto your virtual screen on this thing. So I don't know if that's kind of more like oh yeah, you could try it out. It's kind of like a gimmicky thing, or is it, can you actually use this for work
I've
stuff?
heard
So
I've heard good things about it, like in like forums and Oculus forums and Facebook groups and all that stuff about it. But I don't know. For me, it's like I think you got to tether, use a cable for that, if I'm
I
not
was
mistaken.
told you don't. I was told it's all wireless.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how
Like I
little I know about it. But
Mhm.
I don't have a need to like connect my laptop or look at my desktop. Like it's already bad enough like looking at your computer.
Right.
Um, and I think I'm trying to use this in a more different way, more like, okay, maybe once in a while have fun, but at the same point in time, use it more for health purposes. So you mentioned some games, and this is exactly what I've started doing. Um, we play games and stuff like that. I mean, the ping pong thing.
Hmm.
Um, there are a couple of like fitness related games that I started playing, and oh my God. And when I say fitness, I'm not talking about like, dancing and they have those kind of games as well. But these are like very interactive games where you have things coming at you that you got to either punch or you gotta move aside or slash
Cool. Oh,
or
neat.
or slide and things like that. So it's really making you move. It's making you move your hands, your legs, and things like that. Um, there's another one too, like more of like the uh, not to say, yeah, kind of like the dancing kind of things, like where they tell you, you have a coach and say, okay, now we're gonna do 3 repetitions of this, and we're gonna squat, and we're gonna, whatever, and you literally sweat after like 3 minutes of it, just 3 minutes.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So the potential for so many things is there. I've played one of the boxing games. You're in a ring with, and that too is like you kind of get out of breath and stuff.
That's
Um,
wild.
the games that I'm struggling with or I have a harder time dealing with is some of those shoot me up games. The military style games where you have to like, you know, run, hide behind the wall, shoot, and it started giving me like headaches.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
when I used one of the, signed up for the one of the first games, and it was like everybody's raving about it, and I, I literally had to stop after like maybe 10 minutes, and I had like what do you call it, nauseated for
Really?
for like
Vertigo?
a day. So you had
Oh,
your
that's crazy.
back problems, and I had head problems.
Weird.
So the good thing about Oculus is that if you don't use your game more than 20 minutes, and you haven't requested a lot of returns, you
Hmm.
can actually ask for a refund for a game that you bought. And if
Yeah.
you so
I'm actually finding that the return policy is different for the per game as for the amount of time played. Like some of the games I was looking at that are more expensive, they give you like up to 2 hours.
right, some
And then
games
they
like 20 minutes.
yeah, and
Some
some of them are like what you said.
Yeah,
And again, you do have to pay for the games. It doesn't come with it.
right.
And so I have a budget for like a certain amount each month, so I don't go nuts
Yeah,
doing stuff. So, and at the same time, it's like I'm not a gaming person, and
yeah,
so I just wanted to kind of like initially try this out, be able to hang out with some friends in a different way, and then also,
yeah.
I do want to. I've been really wanting to have Beat Saber for over a year now. Um,
That's a fun game. That's
yeah,
the first
so
game I played. The first game
cool.
I launched, and Well, when you obviously you notice that when you get your Oculus, it comes with some demo games, right? I
Hmm.
think Beat Saber is one of them, the boxing one, uh, a few others. So I played the Beat Saber, the demo thing, and then I kind of finished it, and I'm like, this is fun. This is worth buying, and
Yeah.
so I paid for it.
There's also there's probably other streaming apps, but I installed the Netflix one,
Oh yeah,
and I watched a couple minutes of something, and I'm like, I can't do this for for like very long.
yeah.
Um,
You can
the
connect YouTube as well, uh,
Yes. And there's
and
like there are VR specific videos in YouTube, so you can like look around the video,
yeah.
and kind of look down, look up, and see what the
Right.
experience is from that 360 camera.
So
Uh,
speaking of that, they have these things. I don't know what they're called, but they are like traveling. Not they're not games, but they're traveling for the sake of simplicity. We'll call it game, and you can literally like travel to, like, let's say you wanted to go to Bali, uh, you know,
mhm.
and you'll have you know the scene, and you're walking, in the town, in the
Yep.
village, you're sightseeing, or you can be at the Taj Mahal and be interactive. So it's a whole different experience, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
This is not my first VR headset. When I got
Hmm.
my first Android phone, along with it, it came with the Samsung Gear VR. And I think that was more of like a gimmicky thing, and that was actually made by and designed by Oculus, and so the Oculus App Store came with it, but you couldn't really do much with it. I don't remember if you needed controllers and stuff like that, but that was just kind of cool. Like, okay, here's this VR video, or here's the simulation. No multiplayer stuff at the time. And this is with my S7, but back then I was like, this is crazy. Like I remember being in a scene for the new movie that just came out from Disney, Jungle Book, and
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
looking behind and seeing like the ape king there. I'm like, what in the heck? Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is like so far ahead,
So speaking of
beyond that.
VRs, I want to mention Kathy Moya. She's my um, MVP manager for the Windows division and the MEMCM division of the MVP program, and she's a very strong advocate, and for with women in tech, just as I am and you are. So I get invited by her all the time. Hey, we got this event coming up and all this stuff. So through her, I learned about a free a 2D maybe VR thing on Windows 10 called Alt Space VR.
Okay.
So you can go and it's through the store. You download and install, and then you create an account, and now you're in like a VR environment. You can use your mouse and keyboard to move around, and so she had set up like a virtual session, a conference, right? That kind of a thing. So
Okay.
you will see, like, you'll walk into a room and you'll see like there'll be a big screen, and you're like, wait, but that's a website on that screen. Like, you can put things like you normally see on your own laptop,
Wow.
or
Okay.
there's a presentation going on the screen, and as you get closer to the person, the conversation starts getting louder. If you turn this way and you talk, the audio changes as well. It's just like you are in real life.
Yeah.
So if you walk away, or you're further out, or if you turn, So anyway, so one of the things that you can use this Oculus for is that you
Cool.
can connect Allspace VR to Oculus, and I have a feeling like in this year it's going to be used a lot more for some events and stuff like that may be coming up.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so instead of using a keyboard and mouse and stuff, you can use your Oculus, connect to it, and now you just move around and do your thing and talk to people, and
That's
yeah,
amazing.
that's pretty cool.
Um, as the one of the assistant of the chiropractor's office was there, and she's like, she's super into gaming, and she mentioned like, hey, Prayer, you know, if you have tens of thousands of dollars, there's a special kind of treadmill that goes forwards, backwards, and side to side to enhance the VR experience. And so if you don't have like a big space to walk around and stuff like that, you can use this thing, and it's basically like the holodeck on Star Trek. You can go like as far as you want, and somehow with this thing, it's connected to whatever VR system you're using, giving it feedback. This is, yep, they're going sideways. Isn't that incredible that that's there?
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a very interesting technology. I'm glad that it's useful to me now versus it being a gimmick when I first got my S7. And I'm really interested in like the other things that are out there now. There's a company called, I think, Pimax, or maybe that's the product name, which is a
Okay.
4K display in each eye.
Oh,
Where this is
neat.
not, these are not 4K. It's more than 1080p, but it's not 4K.
Right.
And so like imagine what that would look like, playing games to that or watching
Yeah.
videos and stuff like that. And I'm really curious about people's experiences with the HoloLens. Because in my mind, I'm thinking like,
I was curious about that too, the
like
HoloLens.
it would be really cool for Microsoft to put out something like Teams VR. They're probably already working on something like that,
Probably, yeah.
where, you have different channels, and one of them is a VR channel. And you're just talking to people,
Your colleagues.
your avatars
colleagues.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
You could
So,
have literally like virtual meetings like in real life,
right.
but like you're in the same room or something like that. I can't remember the name of there's another virtual conference company. Again, Kathy did this for the was it for the MVP Summit or the was it for Ignite last year, the online? Anyways, there's another one, but it's really expensive. This is a paid one that's all they do is VR conferences. So
Wow.
companies will
Interesting.
spend a few $1,000s and they create your entire environment. Your advertising, your rooms, your this and that, and yeah, it was just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, the whole idea of meeting in a virtual space, simulating some kind of environment, it's been around for a while. Like, remember Second Life?
Yeah.
And I forget what we had before that, and it was crude, like it was two-dimensional,
Mhm.
but you had some kind of avatar, and you could talk to people back and forth.
Yeah.
And you even had like Second Life currency to buy things and stuff like
Right.
that. And there were open source versions of that where you could host your own Second Life world and then keep it a closed community. And it's something that my school district that I work for, that we actually set up something like that to keep it private, and kind of have like a different way for students to interact with curriculum. So it's really, again, my mind is spinning with this.
Yeah, if people are
so-
wondering, like, we talked about,
hold
talking
on.
to each other kind of a thing.
My evening reminder to get ready for bed is going off. There we
Okay.
go. Closing it.
So if people are wondering, like, this thing actually connects to your Wi-Fi, right?
Yep.
You're connected to your Wi-Fi, and then you obviously you have your Facebook account because Oculus is owned by Facebook. And then once you are using the device, they have a social aspect of the game too, or of the product. So where you can connect with people, your friends, and things like that, and even just do chats. You can type things, or you can call them. So you can just put this on and just talk to somebody like you're on the phone.
Sure.
That sort of thing. So many different things. You can play games. Obviously, you can, that stuff.
Do you remember? I'm going to go back to the HoloLens. Remember at Ignite many, many years ago, they did a demo of like Skype on the HoloLens, where there was the gentleman, I believe it was a gentleman, was talking to his daughter or virtual doll. I don't remember exactly, but it was like, they had HoloLenses on and they were interactive with each other, but they saw each other's actual physical being and stuff like that. I wonder like how long will it take for us to be in that space as like a norm? Because nobody thought 15 years ago that we'd be this far ahead
I know,
with
right?
like how this is just the norm.
Yeah.
We don't have to have landlines anymore. You don't
Yeah.
have to have a TV to watch videos. You don't have to have a digital camera as
No.
another device, right?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
at some
So
point, yeah.
I was playing a multi-player game with the Oculus a few weeks ago, and some random guy started playing with me, and he started talking, and that's when I freaked out. I was like, "Whoa, wait, who's talking to me?" And it was the guy right in front of me, and and he was somewhere from the U.S. I can't remember where. And we're playing, we're talking, and stuff like that. And he said, and it is pretty true, that the technology in the hardware is 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 superior, but the software is still catching up to the hardware, right?
Yes. Yep.
Usually, sometimes it's the other way around. Like for sometimes it's technology where the software is like really good, but the hardware can't handle it.
Mhm.
This is the other way around. The hardware is awesome, but the software is getting there, right? With firmwares and with the new game developments and
Right.
a reality aspect of it. So we have yet to see, the best, you know.
Yeah, I understand. So
Yeah,
I'm excited. So
yeah.
again,
So we
I'm a
should
little.
play again, and hopefully we don't break your back again.
I learned my lesson. Lessons learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this was a significant splurge for me. It's my splurge for the year. But I am happy with it. I was thinking about maybe getting like a console or something like that. I'm really pleased that I went this way. So if
Yeah, I bought
you're,
I bought a used before I got this one last summer, or was it last summer or the before that, just before COVID. And I was like, okay, I need to try to get active, and oh, maybe I'll look for a Wii, right? One of those. And so I found something on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something for real cheap, and someone was just getting rid of it. I'm like, oh, great, I got a good deal and lots
Mhm.
of games and all the guns and everything. And I think I plugged it in maybe twice,
Oh no.
and I didn't like it because I found like I was going back many years in terms of, maybe I'm used to so modernized, you know, things.
Yep. Sure.
Um, right? It's so like, one dimensional and so like, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. And then we just kind of put it away. And then this comes along. And again, like, like you said, for yourself, I'm not a gamer myself. I don't play like online games or things like that. And, I think the last major game I played was, what was that? Not Warcraft, but the one where you had to go and it was really, really popular. You had to
Halo?
go mine. Was that?
Halo, but that would have been for like
It
the
wasn't
Xbox.
Halo. It's like
Okay.
you build your character, you start getting experiences, and you have to go and mine things and mine gold, and then you have to attack things. And it's not Warcraft. It's World. Anyways, whatever. Uh, so one of those things, and it was addictive. Like you spend all your, you know,
Oh
before
no.
you get one check and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, it was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
So, but this is great.
Cool.
And I'm hoping to use it more for like, for to stay healthy, to start moving and,
Yep.
yeah. So, anyways,
So,
yeah, it's,
yeah, so if we know who you are, I invite you to connect, send some DMs to me via Twitter.
yeah,
And that way we can get added as friends to each other on the Oculus stuff.
yeah.
If I know you. If I don't know who you are, I'm not gonna talk to you. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Again, I'm still giddy. I've only used it twice thus far because I got hurt, my own fault. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more things with it. So, and it kind of like it got me interested in like, what other games are out there. So I did finally download Steam and the Epic Store.
Okay.
app. Is it the app or I don't know, whatever, their environment to run their games and stuff like that. And I found a few. I'm like, I remember this game from way back then. So it's like, yeah, maybe this is a thing that now and then I'll do. But
So
the
one tip for you and for others who are very new to this, pay attention to the daily sales that they
yeah,
have. So
hmm
if you're really like looking for things like you're like, hey, I want to. So every day they'll have some game of the day kind of a thing, maybe one or two that's on sale. That sometimes it's 50% off or whatever, right?
hmm
And then I think it's like once a month or once every so often, you'll find like you'll get a credit or an invite from Oculus. Hey, here's a coupon for 30% off
yep,
for anything, any game or whatever. So that's when I use those opportunities and say, you know what, I'm going to apply that to this expensive game that or more costlier game that I had wanted to get, but now it's obviously cheaper.
yep,
And then I might buy some of those 9.99 games, just to play around, just to um, whatever, when they're on
yeah.
sale.
And
So
definitely, now just kind of like looking in hindsight, as like read all the fine print and be aware. Just as we practice mindfulness and being aware of ourselves and being in the moment, like listen to your body. Like I think if I'd paid more attention while we were playing, I would have like seen the signs, like, hey, something is going wrong
yeah,
here. And so just read the fine print and probably talk to your doctor first, if you have some motor issues and stuff like that, because we don't want you to get hurt and
right,
stuff like
right,
that. Like, but
right,
there's a ton of fine print
right. Like if
to
you
go
have, if you
through.
have motion
And
sickness and
yep,
things like that,
and in all the games too, it's like if you have this, not recommended.
not recommended.
So there
Yeah,
is a lot of safety that they're thinking about.
yeah.
So make sure you're very mindful of that. So
Yeah, and
yep,
and just like the Wii, it's recommended you use you know, the cord or whatever that comes with your handheld,
yep,
paddles, because you have sometimes there is tendency like when I'm playing ping pong or certain games that you're going to be, moving this like this, and or like boxing and stuff. It could go flying, and so
right,
it depends where you are. If you're playing in front of your, 50-inch, screen TV or whatever in your living room, then you might crack that.
yep,
But I don't. So,
yep.
uh, but yeah,
Cool.
so it's fun. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have one, if you have an Oculus Quest or something, let us know, and we want to hear from you. Like, if you have any tips and stuff for us too,
Yep.
that'd be great.
And we're
Um,
not like promoting it or that so
uh,
that we get anything back. I bought it because of what my
mhm,
friend said, and also it's all self-contained, so I don't have to get like a hyped up
exactly.
video card. I don't have to like think about like I need to be close to my computer when I play things.
Right,
It's all on its own and
right,
stuff like that. So
right.
yep.
I saw, before we leave, I saw a video just a few days ago. I should have shared it with you. Someone recorded this guy in the plane as a passenger. He's sitting there in his seat, and he's literally playing Beat Saber.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's
Wow,
sitting in a seat, and he's
that's
so
amazing.
it's yeah, but it's that portable. I mean, it can go anywhere.
Yeah, but if I'm sitting next to that person, that would be really annoying. Or are they like social distancing on planes? I don't know. I
I
haven't
think there
looked.
was a middle seat empty, so he's sitting in the aisle seat from the
That's
video I
hilarious.
saw, and then this person's recording from. So obviously he doesn't know he's being recorded because he has a thing on him, but he's playing Beat Saber, and he's going like this.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
that is amazing.
So that
That's
that just goes to show that how portable it is. So you don't have to plug it in anywhere. It's just as
yep.
long as you have, you can charge it up, and
Yeah.
it does need to be charged up. So
Yes. Yes, you gotta be mindful. You gotta pay attention to like when it's warning. That's why I had to stop playing, is because I had, and I'm so thankful it did need a charge, because we could have been playing for 2 hours and I
yeah,
would have been worse. So yeah. Um, I think that's all we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I
So-
think this is great. We just focused on one thing.
Yes. Yes. That's good.
So this is our technology piece for you guys for this time.
Yeah, we're gonna
So-
we're gonna be different this year. Why not? Right?
Yeah, why not?
Mhm.
So anyway, so until next time, you'll find me on Twitter. I'm Harjit. You'll find me on Twitter as @Hoorge, Hoorge.
And you'll find me on Twitter as the IT Jedi, as well as Instagram. Twitter, I'm more active on that a bit. So
Yeah.
cool.
All
And
right.
yeah, seriously, send us DMs to let us know what your handles are, and if we know you, we'll hook up and stuff. So
Yeah.
all right,
All right. Cheers.
see ya.
Fork, fork, fork.